everyone, welcome back to A Community for All of Us. And tonight with my beautiful co-host, Nikki, which is right there. Hello, how are you doing tonight? Um,
Great.
awesome. Will is supposed to be here hopefully in a little while, but tonight, a good friend of mine that I've known for a long time and had the privilege of meeting him early on when we started doing our first book. He was like one of the first persons that ever bought our book, which was T the Air Adventures, is a good friend of mine, John
Hey,
Gilstrap. How you doing, my man?
I'm groovy, man. How are you?
Good. I am so happy to have you tonight. Nikki
Me
is,
too.
like I told everybody, knows that Nikki is the brains behind the operation. I am just the monkey behind the wheel, and I do what I'm told. So she told me that you were coming on, and I was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
cannot wait to talk to you about some comic books,
You?
and I'm really, really excited. So, but how are you doing? What you got going on lately for yourself?
Nothing much. I play a lot. My boss was on last week, so let me give him a little shout out for last week's episode. From Richard's Comics Collectibles.
Yep.
But I've been working with him some. Did a con with him last weekend, or helped set up a con last weekend, and I've been working with a guy with some vintage toys. It's Cosmos Collectibles. He's in Easley, which if you're in South Carolina, go see him. But that's really that, and reading books and just hanging out and taking care of family. That's pretty much what I've been up to.
That's good. I love the video games in the background. That
Oh
makes
yeah,
me a little
yeah.
bit. I love it. I love it. Nikki has been working on the studio. We're working on what we had an extra bedroom, and since the person that was living here is no longer living here, we're like, hey, it's a free room.
Heck yeah.
Let's make it into a studio room. And so that's what we have been slowly working on. So, but yeah, getting some vintage toys.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm very curious. What kind of vintage stuff are you looking at?
Well, for him, his store specifically, he's doing like the uh, the 70s and 80s, like Star Wars figures, 80s G.I. Joe. I know we were talking a little bit earlier, but like Mask and just the toys we had as kids. He likes
Yeah.
to have those. We've been playing around a lot of G1 and G2 vintage Transformers. Um, and then, yeah, that's really, I mean, he gets new stuff in as well, like the McFarlane and Marvel Legends and G.I. Joes, which the classified stuff, which I've dived a little too hard in myself because I love those guys. And yeah, it's just those kind of things we've been goofing around with here lately.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Everybody that knows that Rebin has not left my side since I got back home. Those are those that are medical things. I've been having some medical issues. So I was like, I can't keep him out of the room. So you're going to see his little face pop up. Now then, I apologize for that. I'll just make sure he doesn't hit any of the buttons on the soundboard and the computer while we're doing this. But uh Nikki, I'm going to let you go ahead and start us off and everything. Since we had issues with Richard last week because Nikki's audio was reverbing, but
Yeah.
we've got that worked out. So go ahead.
hmm
What's what you want to do, babe?
Well, I know that you talked about to us earlier about the Wonder Woman comic and how surprised you were with the new one coming out. You thought that wasn't going to be the strongest one, but you have
No.
found that it's really good.
Yes. See, I even have the last issue right here. See?
Ooh.
Just kidding. I really did. Absolute. Unfortunately, in the comic book world, very seldom do we get any new ideas. And so,
Very
with
true.
Marvel doing the Ultimate Universe years ago, and then most recently bringing it back, um, which has also been a really great read, Spider-Man, for example. When DC did it, I was a little hesitant because I'm like, man, the one thing DC's always done is been able to relaunch different universes. But this one was a little too far out, I thought, when I first read it. And then, Batman ended up being really good. But Wonder Woman, for me, I don't want to ruin it for people who haven't read it yet, but there is a surprise thing that happens in those first couple of issues. And the art, the writing, and like I said, the surprise that happens in that, it just made it a great book, and it is I would say one of 5 or 6 that I religiously look forward to, and sometimes have to put at the bottom of the stack to make sure I get through my stack that week, and use it as kind of like a treasure for the bottom, so I can get that treat at the end of reading my stack every week.
Speaking of that, first of all, how did you get into comics and everything? How did that happen?
It's actually a kind of a funny story. Again, with your listeners, I'm not sure who's around. And Will, hey Will,
Hey John,
how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right. I don't know if they knew that we already knew each other.
I don't think they did. I just want you guys to know
I didn't know
love
till
Will.
today. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Will, and I love his art. And he did a Guy Gardner piece for me that's actually hanging in my man cave right now.
Oh, I'm sure it's terrible.
No, it's perfect.
No.
Is
Why would it be
it?
terrible?
I know. He's like,
Oh,
he draws this stuff. He's like, "This is horrible." I'm like, "This is the best thing I've ever seen." I don't know.
I know.
Right?
He puts my art to shame. I am like, holy crap, dude.
But to answer your question, sorry, we got off track. I was just happy to see Will. I'm sorry. So when I was a kid, growing up in the big old city of Easley, which I think had 3 red lights when I was there as a child, we had a comic book store. It was called B&D's, and they were opening up, and there was a little restaurant that was beside them, and my parents and I would eat there. And I saw them opening, and I walked in, and my dad had always picked up Archie's or like some early Batmans at a pharmacy that was in town. But the owner of the store said, "Oh, we're not open yet. We've got a couple of weeks." He goes, "What do you like to read?" And I talked to him about like Spider-Man and Batman and Flash. And again, I've always been a DC guy. So he just went and got a couple and said, "Here, just take these on and read them. And then when we open, come back and see me." And I think my parents now officially hate that guy, but it just started
My parents.
a weekly trek to the stores. And then when I was in high school, he closed down. And I went to, which is now Richard's Comics Collectibles, used to be New Dimensions. I started getting books at New Dimensions, and the guys at New Dimensions asked me if I wanted to start working there. And I got the benefit of working there and getting my books. And it's just always been almost, the crazy part is we did the math between the two businesses. I've actually been selling books for 30 years.
Wow. That is something.
As a collector and a seller, it's been a fun little journey.
And you've seen the highs and the lows and work at the shop, getting to meet different artists and writers over the years. Is there any like particular stories as we're getting into, like, we're going to talk about the absolute universe and the ultimate universe, but you and I are from the old age where we got the black symbiote suit that was from Secret Wars.
Right.
We had no idea that was going to become Venom later on.
Oh no, not at all.
Yeah. Is there any stories that through that time that you gravitate to, going, this will always be one of the greatest stories I've ever read?
I think for Spider-Man, I would have to say Kraven's Last Hunt for sure.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
I do love that story. I would say reading 288, 299, 300 was good. There for a while, I thought they kind of went, I felt like anytime they were like, we need him to fight somebody, we'll just throw Venom at him. Because of just that connection that they had. So there for a while, there's a couple of Venom stories I wasn't a fan, but that first real hit from him, maybe Eric Larson, the first time he drew the tongue, I was like,
oh yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Hold the skull in his hand.
Yeah. There was that. I have been and always will be a Claremont fan. So any of the X-Men stuff from all that early years from, as I have in the upstairs man cave, really from giant size to about 200. As that run goes, there's all those great stories. So those are kind of the stuff that from Marvel that I kind of pull from. DC, it's the weird stuff like the Infinity Inc. and All-Star Squadron and I love, the problem is I'll tell you Batman stories. I was trying to see if I had one over here. but the way Batman and Detective did, where it was like you had to read both during the
Yeah.
80s to
Yep.
get the story. But and I didn't grab it. I should have. But there's a DC's Finest that just came out recently that had a crossover with a villain where she's deals with mostly at night. And I always butcher her name, so I don't want to do that on here, but I can grab it in a minute if I need to. But these DC Finest are covering those eras and the Epic collections for Marvel for this time period that you're talking about. Those are great to read because you get your full story and you're not spending $1,000 for the Punisher's first appearance or things like that.
Right.
So yeah, those are definitely some of those stories that I love.
Yeah. Cause it's like floppies were, when I first got into it, and this is probably going to tell my age. I remember when comic books were 50 cents, went to
Mm-hmm.
75 cents, and then it went to $1.25. Now comic book prices, we're looking about $5
Mm-hmm.
a book. Um, with all that and being in it and selling it for 30 years, you got to see the highs and the lows. We've got to experience Marvel going bankrupt, where
Right.
you could actually buy stock in the back of their books. You did a cutout out of the back of it. You could pay $1 to get a stock for Marvel Comics. And I was one of those people that actually did that.
Yeah. I
And
wish I had just I could have the sheet of paper,
yeah, and then early on, before me and Nikki met, I sold a lot of stuff. A lot of the Chris Claremont run that you talked about, I
Yeah.
had. I almost had the entire run. I actually had from 94, even though they were the reprints of the first 50 issues,
Yeah.
I had from there all the way up to the current in 2000. But with that, Will's coming into, well, he is an artist. He's already come into his own, but he's now coming into the industry, into the business.
I'm trying.
Uh, yeah, well, it's like, okay. It's like I got to meet
This is
Thomas
hard, man.
Bohart.
I'm tired.
I bet you are. I bet you are. I mean, I remember he said, "I've been drawing so many horses. I'm
I'm
so
tired of
tired of
drawing
seeing horses."
horses.
Put Ghost
Uh,
Rider on one of them. It'll be fine.
I can put what's his name, Carter Slade, the first Ghost Rider.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yep. Which now are saying it's the Phantom, which is
That's
crazy.
stupid. No, he's Ghost
Yeah.
Rider.
I
Yep. I'm with
He's
you.
Ghost Rider. Yeah. But with that, do you see comic books having this new resurgent? Because for a while there, comics have had a beating over the years. Um, do you see, like, is it just Marvel and DC? Is there anything else? Like, let's say no one knows anything about comic books, like we all do, because we are part of the panel. We know this, but if someone has never really looked at comic books, is it just Marvel and DC that you would have to deal with, or is there other areas?
Oh, you're asking me. Oh,
Yeah,
um, I'm. Well, I feel like in the past maybe 2 or 3 years, things have been getting better, and I feel like a lot of that has to do with some of the shows coming out and people getting interested in the comics. Like I feel like Invincible, that cartoon coming out was really the start of people wanting to get into comics again, and I mean like newer folks. And obviously, Absolute Batman is people who don't even care about comics know about Absolute Batman and all this stuff. And I've seen a lot of people getting in on the Transformers comics that
yeah,
Daniel Warren Johnson and now Robert Kirkman are doing. Um, and I feel like those three in particular, even though Invincible's like just getting reprinted, I feel like those three have kind of um, stood out and sold better again. And obviously,
Yeah.
manga. A lot of people that I've seen a lot of people that read manga and that have been reading manga for a long time
yeah,
also watch like Invincible, and then they want to read the comic, and then they read other comics, and It's very different because you'll see like Superman was like the hottest selling character of all time, and he used to be, but now I think it's the best selling comic book ever is like Demon Slayer and like One Piece. I think that
Yep.
those have
Yeah.
beaten.
When
Well, look how many
Superman.
issues they have, you know?
I know,
Yep.
and like, but like you look at like Demon Slayer, it's like what 300 chapters or
Yeah.
something, and
Yeah.
those are like, and those volumes are like that thick, and they're
Yeah.
like $10, and you know, saying that something $10 that thick, and there's only maybe I think there's like 14 volumes of it or something.
Yeah.
And that has outsold Superman. There's only 14 things to buy. That's
when
insane. So the
it is,
culture's changed a lot, and
Yeah.
I think
and then
people are getting rewarded for creativity more than recognition now. So things
and
that
that's
actually stand out are doing a lot better.
yeah, and then that brings it back to you, John, as someone
Yeah.
that sells it. Um, are you seeing that same resurgence within the store where people are coming in, let's say with Invincible?
Oh, yeah.
Uh, I
Oh,
mean,
absolutely. Yeah.
I I had the privilege, and I got to break the news first about the Transformers Energon GI Joe cartoon.
I remember
Uh,
that.
That was great. Yeah.
yeah, so I still have people that I still talk to in the industry, and I was allowed to mention that before it became public, and I'm very pleased to do so because I got to sit with Robert Kirkman in Charlotte when he first started. Him and I sat at the same table side by side.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so and it was at Heroes Con. He had Invincible, and he was just coming out with The Walking Dead. And the joke was that him and I had as we were talking is like he says, "They'll rue the day that never knew me. I am going to make sure that they will know me in the future." And talking about
Mhm.
creators that get recognized, I think seeing that and the love that he had for Invincible, because he really wanted Invincible to be far greater than what The Walking Dead was. But Richard, which was another guest of ours that we had last week, talked about how Walking Dead, he did see those readers come
Mhm.
in. Do you see that happening now in a resurgence in superheroes, let's say? Could that
I yeah, I do. Well, you know, I'll talk specifically about Invincible because, like you said, they're redoing the trades. I do like the fact that they're actually cutting them down to like almost that manga size. That so it's the so if it's fitting on a shelf with your books, it looks the same. Um, but people see the cartoon. There's usually an uptick every time a new season comes out,
okay.
which is obvious. And somebody new sees it and goes, "Oh, this is great." I may have accidentally let my child watch the first season, not thinking about forgetting how bloody and gutty it was. But he's been able to
You
read the
just
first
forgot.
one.
That's the whole point.
Oh no, I know. But it was like we were watching it. I mean, he's 16. It's fine.
Yeah.
But
Oh God, he's 16
I
now.
know
Oh.
makes you feel old.
When I went to your house, how
It's
old
like,
was he? He was like 11, 10
Yeah,
or something.
yeah.
Because
how do you think me and Nikki
yeah.
feel?
Oh yeah, I was
I
like,
remember he was born.
yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember he was born. But I see kids nowadays come in, and it's interesting. Like you're always gonna have, and I don't mind them coming to the store. I don't mind this at all. But you're gonna have those guys that are thinking, you know, absolute Batman #1 is gonna pay for their kids' college in 10 years, and I don't think it will. I mean, I think it'll get up there to $100 or so for that #1, but you've got those guys that come in. What I like are the people that come in and go, you know what? I don't care what printing it is. I just want to read the story. And those are the people that, you know, they're going to come in. And since Absolute came out, since Invincible, the new season of Invincible came out, there are things that, you know, people walk in and buy. I like what DC is doing too. I'm not just trying to push things in the store, but pushing books. I do like the fact that DC's done, because we talk about the $10 price points
Yeah, that's
for like the mangas and stuff, but like DC's been doing the compacts, which
I
is
love these.
I love
love
these are
them.
great.
I love these.
I got the last 3 that I picked up, which is Why the Last Man, We 3, and V for Vendetta over here, just because they were easy grabs.
Mhm.
But the fact that a kid who is or I say kid, teenager, 20-year-old who is really big into like TikTok and Instagram, and they watch a video of, why, how did, we'll say how did Bucky become Captain America? And
Right.
then there's that trade, even Marvel's are a little more expensive at $15, but you can go get their compacts and you can go read that story or this particular story about Black Panther or, Civil War, which we all heard about Spider-Man going, oh my God, it was a big deal back in the day when he said, I'm Spider-Man.
Mhm.
And you get to read that story about heroes fighting heroes. And
Yep.
so I think those are great. I push big on those and like the finest and the epics and stuff, because I just feel like you get such a great story for your book. And those
That's
are what
where
people are coming in and looking for, especially after watching some of these videos on Instagram and TikTok. Because a lot of times in the mornings I'll go through and my kid will come to me and he'll be like, "Did this really happen?" I'm like, "Yes, it did. It is right here. You can read it."
I wish these were around when I was a kid, because when I was a kid, they had the ones that were like that big, the trades, and they were all like $20.
Yeah, and like I said, I get it. There's some stories out there that I wish they'd reprint again, and hopefully they will one day. So we'll see if that happens too. But the more recent stuff, I remember Walking Dead coming out, like you said, in season 1, season 2, it was crazy. People were just coming in, grabbing the books, reading them, the trades. It ended when it did, and unfortunately, I wish it kept going a little bit longer. But yeah, no, those fly off the shelves. But anytime a new show comes out, they fly off.
Yeah, and I something that it's one of the things from Walking Dead I'll never let go of is I had sent to me one of the big omnibus that Robert signed and
Yeah.
sent, and one of the original artworks inside of it. And I look at trades, and when Nikki and I started out for ourselves getting the comics and pricing, a lot of people thought we were crazy that we made our books graphic novels and we didn't come out with what we call floppies,
Right.
And I was like, well, anime and then manga, that price point, and it being black and white and not color, because that does into the pricing part of it too. But as of right now, we're seeing things in the industry where we got a lot of. I would have never thought that there would be any time at any point that I would see a walking Galactus on the big screen.
Oh, agreed.
You know,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
I would never thought I saw Crypto flying, with Superman. I
Yeah.
never thought that Batman, yes, I'm a Batman. I'm a huge Batman fan. Batman, that's easy. That's not a lot to.
We got Starro in a movie.
Yeah.
That's
No, I
all
know.
I'm
Okay,
saying,
that's where
Will.
I was
Yeah,
going. The first
Yeah.
time Derek mentioned that they were going to try to do Guardians of the Galaxy, I was like, are people going to go for that? I was like, it's not like real looking heroes or creatures. These are like a talking raccoon. I mean, what are they going to do with Rocket,
Yeah. Oh no, I mean, the fact is of how many people they took that one movie and the culture that now, like, you can say I'm Groot and pretty much everyone in your group knows exactly what you're talking
Grandma knows who Groot is. That's so weird.
about. Yeah. No, I know.
I mean, it gets to the point where you can go up to somebody and say, "What is 6'7"?"
Like
No,
back
no.
in like back in the day though, I remember, I mean, people would be like, oh, that's all that child stuff, that's not, none of that matters, and it's like, you're a nerd or whatever. And now I'll have people that are in my family, like my uncle or something. He'll come to me and like, now when Thanos got the last Infinity Stone, and I'm like, now I'm like the most important person at the
Right?
group dinner, at least for a while when the Marvel stuff was really kicking off, because people kept asking me all these questions. I remember like a huge amount of people would just be like, so who's that guy in Winter Soldier who jumps and then he gets punched off a boat? And I'm like, oh, that's Batroc the Leaper, dude. It's like, I know all this useless crap, but now it's kind of
But
like
see,
I'm the king of this or something.
And that's why I'm glad you brought that up, Will, because when I was in school, I was a football jock. Nikki wouldn't have anything to do with me because I
I know he
was,
was.
yeah, I know. But she already heard all the bad stuff. But I never told anybody I bought comic books
Hmm.
because you didn't. That was not something you said. You get your butt kicked
You're
if
coming
Oh,
out of the
you.
nerd
100%. Yeah.
closet.
Yeah,
Was
and
it Todd
now
McFarlane liked playing baseball, but then like he got into comics or something like that?
hmm
It's like that.
hmm Well, no, but like, I agree because I remember like you would go to like only comic book stores sold comic book T-shirts like for adults, and it
yes,
was like I would see shirts and I'd be like, "That's great," but I can't wear that at school. I'll
I
be hung
know.
from the flagpole. Like you couldn't do that, and now it's like everywhere. Like you can walk into
It,
any store at any point, and there's the Superman symbol, the Batman symbol, and at least one of 7 Spider-Man symbols.
since I'm younger than all y'all and I was going to school, I can tell you the exact moment that it switched up from liking comic books is stupid to liking comic books is cool is the moment Avengers 1 came out. That's like the second it switched up. The first Avengers movie, even like Iron Man and like Thor and Captain America, Incredible Hulk, all those movies. Okay, yeah, you're still a nerd if you read comic books. But that first Avengers movie, it did something, man. Like it changed everything.
Well, I remember because I'll agree with you that too. Because I remember I was a manager of one of the Toys R Us's at the time, and we had groups of people, and we would do things because like when all the Harry Potter movies came out, we all went to see the movies when they came out, whatever release day was. We all went and saw Green Lantern. I know how everybody feels about that.
Hooray!
Yay! Well, we
That
saw
thing
Green
was
Lantern.
awful.
I saw Green Lantern at midnight and then had to be at work at 6 a.m. the next morning. That was the
Was it
dumbest
worth it?
thing.
Was it worth it?
Yeah,
No.
it's fine. But like when Avengers came out, like it wasn't like we shut the store down, but it was like trying to find people to work so we could go watch the movie. Like everybody that wanted to go could watch it. And there were so many team members that would pick on us because I'd be over there going like, I need this Marvel Legend and I need this Marvel Legend and I need this.
Yep.
And they're like, you work here, you're not supposed to buy the toys. And became like, hey, is this one you need? Like everybody just got into the culture, and it was.
So you're
nice.
the reason I couldn't finish the Terrax Build-A-Figure.
It's actually upstairs. If you want to, just let me know. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, but it's like seeing that change and seeing that because when we were coming up, there wasn't an art school that was dedicated that was like what Will was able to go to.
Yes, there was.
Well,
It's
it
from the
was, but
70s.
it was, but it wasn't a mainstream thing like it is now.
Mm.
I mean, it was back in that time, you would have to get a invite a lot of times, and a lot of times it was when you were working or trying to get into it, cause like when I would talk to Joe Casati, he says the only reason I got my foot in the door was because I was mowing a guy's yard. And he said, "Hey, yeah," and he was an editor for Marvel. Um, but seeing that now, we're seeing where Marvel was almost bankrupt, where we would have never seen any of these things. Now they become the household name. Um, do you see that Marvel, DC? We have Image. You and I got to see when Image started in '93.
Right.
The biggest thing to ever shake the comic book industry. And you remember, do you see that same star power, that same? Because Marvel and DC had a hard time collecting themselves after they
Oh,
lost.
they did. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Um, what I see happening now more is like we'll talk about Johnson from like Transformers.
Mhm.
Like he had a we did he did shows and he had the book. He had his own private book that he did, and then he went to somebody liked him. He got a book deal. And it grows, and now it's like DC or Marvel snaps them away once so many issues of a book has sold well for them. They go kind of snipe hunting at this point. But I think having like Image and Boom and Dynamite and some of these other small publishers, I know Dynamite isn't as small as it used to be, but having creators have a cut of their character like Image does, where it's like it's kind of like a 50-50 own deal, where not only does the artist or the writer get their book published, but they get to put their passion behind it. I think that's where we as at least me specifically working in a store, I know I can go pick up a new issue of something. I remember when like Something Killing the Children came out, and some of these other books that Grimm and some of those from Boom, that if a smaller publisher hadn't taken an initiative and said, I like your story, I would have never seen these guys. So
like
I don't
Umbrella Academy.
Exactly. I don't see these. We don't have like these like crazy booms where like somebody comes and pull like another Image group where, well, that's not entirely true because we have Ghost Machine now.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, because John's, everybody has their opinions about everybody, and I get that, and we all know that I love Geoff Johns and everything that he's ever written. I have.
Do people not like Geoff Johns?
Well, there's a whole story. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
We'll talk about that off camera. But like I remember when I read his Doomsday Clock a couple years ago.
Yes.
And you could see where he wanted to go. And then DC pulled the rug out from under him and said, we're not doing that. We're going to give like the Legion and Superman and stuff to Brian Michael Bendis. And not that I hate Brian Michael Bendis, but his Superman was horrible.
It was horrible.
Horrible. I will honestly say, for people that bought that book, I apologize. I would not have that. I would have much rather put something else in your hands.
It made me where I didn't buy Superman anymore. It wasn't for the Absolute Universe that I actually picked up another Superman book.
Yeah. And so like having those kind of situations, like I saw what happened to him, and then reading Ghost Machine, that one shot that came out, and I was like, this is great. I mean, I was already reading Geiger before that came out, and I still to this day think that hands down Geiger is one of the best books published right now.
Yeah, I think it's
look up Geoff Johns. What a scumbag. What a jerk.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, I think he truly is, like, I mean, I've been following him since really JSA, and so I just he knocked it out of the park with Green Lantern. He knocked it out. Not that I'm just going to be on a Geoff Johns box for a minute, but like it made me. I'm not a collector of like 100 comics. Like you can give me like one cover of Batman most of the time and I'm fine with that. But with any of his stuff for Ghost Machine, any cover that I can get out of that, I will take it in a heartbeat just to promote those books that much.
My friend did a cover for Geiger. I don't know if you have it.
Oh, if it wasn't an independent store one, I can tell you I do.
Oh, cool.
That's pretty cool.
Let me see.
I can't hypothetically in my box right now at the store for tomorrow. I have all 5 covers for Geiger that come out tomorrow.
That's cool. Nikki's been loving the High Street. Is that right, Nikki?
Oh yes, the High Street books.
Phenomenal.
Yes, they're creepy as heck, and I love it.
It's 90s Tales from the Crypt, the show on paper.
That's what you told me.
I do have that one. Yes, I do.
Yeah, so I went to class with the guy that drew this cover.
Yeah, we need to talk later. I want some of his art.
People from Ghost Machine came to our class and were like, all right, draw Geiger pages for free, and we'll let one of you. I didn't do it. I was like, no, okay.
Funny. I'm so excited because I think next week or the week after is Sisterhood number 5. So we get to finish that. But yeah, oh no. Like when Devour came out and all the High Street each week, it's like, or each month. It's just phenomenal. And
I was like, Nikki's like, you love horror. Why are you not reading this? I was like, well, I got so many other books. She's like, no. And I've read the first 5 issues just now yesterday when I couldn't put them down. I'm like, holy crap,
they're creepy.
Oh, let me tell you, if somebody does not decide to do a Build-A-Figure set of action figures with Geiger, that little, and I always get his name wrong, but like the little kid, the demon kid, Hyde Street, Mr. X-Ray, like those guys. Like
Mhm.
if we can't get like a Build-A-Figure for like Geiger's dog, um, if we can't get like that, I'm crushed, man. I can't wait. That it's that
Yep.
whole universe. All the
Nikki got me Brooke,
yeah,
the
oh
hardcover.
yeah, yeah. I'm so glad that finally came back out.
Yeah, and I love that. But like the love of the independent stuff, the way it used to be is that you had to kind of be on the independent circuit,
Right? Yeah,
um, and have stuff published before you ever could get to the big time. You had to have something that was syndicated, like Chrissy Zulu, who we love, did the cover for us for because we were published and we were a publishing
yeah,
house with Bitter Tea Studios at the time, now Bitter Tea Media. And she called us from San Diego and she's like, "Look, I have to have something that shows that I've actually done a
yeah,
cover, for a published work. Can I please? I know yours hasn't come out for my cover yet, but could I please?" And Nikki was like, "Go, girl, have a good
yeah.
time."
And she's the
Um,
sweetest person on the face of the planet too.
uh,
Let's just throw
Really
that
is
out there too.
nice. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Matter of fact, Nikki's like gets all her covers that she ever
Yeah.
does, and she's like, "Are you sending me
Oh,
a box up here, Nikki, for me to sign for you again?" And Nikki's like,
She asked me again. I was like, I'm sorry, I forgot.
well, that Muppets cover she did was amazing for
"Oh,
that.
They're all
yeah,
really cute.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
She did 2 commissions for me when she first started, and they're hanging up too. And they're, oh man, she's just talent rolled up and just talented. She's great.
he is." And that's what's going to go next is that you've had the privilege being in the on the end of retail to have people come to your store and sign
Mhm.
books, be able to meet artists and writers. Has there been any one that you have been like completely starstruck that you've always wanted to meet and you got to meet them because of it?
Um. Well, early on, Cockrum came to a couple of because I didn't realize he lived where he lived, and about an hour away from where I do.
Where's he
Right.
live?
He used to live in Anderson.
Oh,
I didn't know that either. Unfortunately, he's been passed
the
away.
Dave Cockrum.
Yeah, yeah, the Dave
Wow,
Cockrum.
crazy.
And he did some shows around here, and like I don't. What again? One of the benefits is like Rob Vendetti, for example, a great guy, love him to death. Get to
Yes,
see him
great guy.
sometimes. He's been to the store a lot. I got to meet him before Green Lantern. So like
Right?
for him, like I can walk up to him and be like, dude, 29, it was great. You messed up on this one part. Not that I would ever do that to him because he's great. He doesn't mess anything up,
He's a
but
sweetheart.
he's a good guy. I love him to
Yeah.
death. And by the way, let's just throw that out there that I'm happy with all the stuff he's doing with Bad Idea. Anyway, but I couldn't walk up. I just couldn't. I was stupid starstruck to him, and I was just like, "Sir, I stuttered. I probably spit in the process by accident, and I was just like, "Sir, thank you so much," because as the awkward kid in high school, I had friends. We all, but we felt like the X-Men because like we were just the nerdy kids in the
Yes.
corner, and having that and being able to watch watch the 90s cartoon and go back and read his great stories that he did this artwork from. And I love Nightcrawler, and there's a couple of stories about Nightcrawler should have been in Legion of Superheroes, but just being able to see him and know that was the guy that put the pencil paper and made what I thought was my childhood. I couldn't talk to him. It was crazy. I just was like, thank you, sir. And then that's all I could get out.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, you talk about the X-Men and it's how you feel. It's like we're the outcasts because the reason why I love Colossus and he's one of my favorite X-Men characters is because I was a jock. He was
Yeah.
strong. He was out of place from his country. I felt that way, especially with my family. And then he was an artist and loved it. And then, you know, through Nikki, a lot of people don't know this, but Nikki went to school with a lot of these guys and she knows a lot of people. And she's the only one that gave me she actually published our first book without me knowing.
Oh,
that's
that's awesome.
what she was doing. And she knew him from Surrogates, if I remember correct.
Yes.
And she was
Yes.
like, "Hey, he's going to be coming to Richards. I want you to meet him in person." And I was like, oh, okay. And then because then you went to UNCG, which
Yeah.
is in North Carolina, it is the art school. Even though Charlotte kind of has a little art thing, or her aunt was the head deacon of art at Wingate University,
Yeah.
I don't think the
and
word
so
deacon,
what was
professor,
she? Professors.
and
That's right. Sorry,
professor of art at Wingate.
at Wingate, and so she was like, "They're regular people," and I was like, "You don't understand. I would stay in the shadows. I
Yeah.
wouldn't show my art to no one." Do you ever have times where people come to the store and say, "Hey, will you look at my artwork?"
Um,
You know,
not as much, not as much as I did when it was New Dimensions, and I think that's just because that was before the internet, or like a
right?
big push of the internet.
Mm.
Um, Now, I will tell you, somebody on this panel, I would have to yell at him sometimes because he was drawing at work when he was supposed to be doing something else. But then I couldn't
What?
get mad at him because he was drawing my favorite characters. So then I
Dude,
couldn't get mad at him.
dude, shut up.
Um,
Dude, I never drew. I never drew when I should have been selling furniture. I never did
no, no,
that.
I'm just picking on you. I'm just picking on you because I could. No, no, but no, no, but it was great. It was actually really great to have somebody um, work with that had the talent that you could talk to about the industry and all that stuff when we were working together. It was always fun, and it's one of those where you see talent and you just can't wait to see the next thing that comes from them because you know
Oh,
what the talent is.
shucks, ma'am.
I've been waiting for him to. I cannot wait
I know, I know.
because he's gonna like
I want to
his.
do. I want to do comics. I do animation, but I want to do comics. I don't. I'm tired of animation. I'm
You
tired
know,
of drawing horses.
There's this lovely story that I've been writing for 20 years, and you and I might need to sit down and talk about it.
Okay. All right. Let me
Uh,
know. You still? I
Um,
still have your number.
yeah. Oh, I know.
yeah.
I know, and I feel bad because your grandmother wanted to go to dinner the other night, and I didn't get a chance to go.
What? What?
Yeah,
What? Nine? Little tiny woman?
the little tiny woman. Yeah, yeah. No, no. There's a whole other story behind it, but yeah, no. I love her. She's so great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't get to see it as much anymore as like we used to, and unless. Well, the benefit of having Richard doing all these shows is he gets to meet these guys early on before their big pop, and they get to come to the store. So there's a lot of artwork that I've acquired over the last, like Bernard Chang, for example. I think his artwork is amazing. I don't get to see him as much anymore, just because of again, once you hit the DC or Marvel route, you're pretty popular. You're doing the bigger shows.
Yeah.
But like I've got a bunch of his Green Lantern art because we all know how I feel about Green Lantern. I have a Teen Titans cover of his. So there's just that. So I got to, you get to see it come in when the artists themselves come in the store, or we get to see them and hang out with them at shows. But unfortunately, it doesn't come as much anymore like it used to.
Do some of the artists come into the store and be like, "Don't you know who I am?"
No, actually, no.
No, I've never seen that.
No,
Actually,
and I'll tell you the one that's going to bother me, and I'm going to butcher his name all of a sudden too, mainly because he made one of my favorite characters, which is Beta Ray Bill.
Oh, he's my favorite too.
Yeah,
I love Beta Ray Bill. You're talking about Walt Simonson?
Yeah, I am. Walt,
That guy's my favorite. He's
I
literally
guess
my
like
favorite.
his
Well,
some
I got to meet him,
yeah, one of
and
his
I
family
got a
members lives.
Better Bill sign.
Yeah. Oh my god, that I'm jealous over that. But
I'm
he has like a
waiting.
granddaughter, niece, somebody that lives around here, and
Yep.
he did a show around here, and he came into the store, walked around, looked at everything. I wasn't there that day, but walked around and was talking to the guy that worked there that day. And then as he's walking out, the guy realized who he was, and that's how most of them come in the stores. They don't come in and go, what you think about this cover that I just did, or what? They're not very, they don't brag, they don't do anything. They just they just like to see their environment and watch people watch the people come pick their book up and look at the art and see how great it is. Nobody's ever been like or anything like that.
I don't do
No.
that either. Sometimes I'll be in public and like I'll see like a drawing I did for like a box for a Transformer or something
Yeah,
at like a toy store, and then I'll be like I'll just be buying it and I'll just be like, oh yeah, sure, that's for as I'm buying it as a fan or something like that, you know?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Yeah,
That's-
I don't want to be that guy, but I'm afraid I'd be like, look, you should read this. I wrote this today. I wrote this last week. I wrote, I don't want to be that guy. That's probably why I shouldn't be in the industry on that side of the scope.
Oh,
I would just be like, this is a great story to read. No, but no, nobody's ever come in and just been complete. Even Ethan Van Sciver, which I
and
know
Lee would.
has a lot of negativity before the negativity hit him.
We should
yeah.
we should beat Ethan Van Sciver with
Well,
that.
you're gonna get us canceled before it starts, sir.
uh,
No,
Oh
before
my.
before all of
That's a
his
comic
drama
game.
in life, he had come by the store very early on when he was on Green Lantern, and he was very nice to the people there, and everybody that was there. He was really, really nice. Drew a bunch of stuff for people and all that. So even the ones that get bad raps, I guess it's just never happened in front of me.
well,
From
Mark,
the area? Ethan
Yeah.
Van Sciver.
No,
Where's he from?
Richard actually flew him in for a signing, and and so he was there. He was only there. It was crazy. He flew him in for like 4 or 5 hours, and he flew out.
At the Cubert school, I'll tell you, the Ethan Van Sciver was our punching bag for like 3 months.
the
He's a person. Be nice.
He's
Mark-
not getting a good rap right now. No.
No,
he's not.
no.
Mark-
I just give all these guys grace even when they don't deserve it.
Yes.
I guess for me it was when I used to go out to dinner with Mark Poole and Greg Adams,
Yeah,
and and I didn't know Mark because I didn't do anything with Magic the Gathering or anything like that,
yeah,
and all of a sudden I won't mention who it is, but as soon as she found out that we every Wednesday went and ate dinner with them, wanted me to have everything taken there that she had to get signed, and I was
yeah.
like, I'm like, no, that's not class.
That's not
But
what you do.
No,
what you do.
not at all. Not at all. And
No.
yeah, because there's been so many. There's been like I know. I've had some friends too. Like I'll go to a show or something, and they'll be like, "Can you get all this stuff signed by me? Because I know you're gonna see this person." And I'm like, I'm going to dinner with them. I want to know how their kids are doing in school. I don't want to be like, "Can you sign these 17 things for this person?" It's not.
Oh,
It's
I
not
know.
respectful.
No,
Not
not
at
a
all.
thing.
Yeah. No.
But speaking about comic books and now, I mean, we kind of talked about early on with Nikki's first question,
Yeah.
dealing with the Absolute Universe and the Ultimate Universe. Now, the Ultimate Universe is coming to an end.
Yes.
They say that every time. They
Well,
say that all the
so-
time.
I'm going to say something about it that I think I'm correct on, and I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll eat crow. But when he decided to do the Ultimate Universe, he had done X-Men he did the whole Cocoa thing.
Yep.
And it was supposed to be like year 3 or year 4 was going to wrap it up, and Marvel was like, "This is selling too well. We can't do this." And so so Hickman was like, "Absolutely not. I said I was going to be done at this point, and I'm done." So then we get this lackluster end of Cocoa, and so when he said he was done with Ultimates, I think he walked in and said, "I want to do it for this many years, and this is my plan, and we're going to end it, or I'm not going to do it." And
Yeah, he had a 2-year plan. And how that happened is he did say, "Hey, I want to establish." Yeah, he was actually surprised. Even I was on another podcast where he was surprised that when he said that he was ending that they were going to end the whole line.
yeah, well, I know that the one that I forgot who's writing it, but the one that's doing Ultimates, they had a plan to do like there's stuff in their stories now that is planning for like super long term, and they're like everybody was like no, but like I look at Peach Momoka and she's got Like she's doing the art, she's doing the writing, she's doing everything. That's got to, after a long time, that's got to get tiring. And so having all these people be willing to take, I'd rather a story.
Be good.
As much as I love Ultimate Spider-Man and I want that Peter and MJ in the 616, I would much rather the story end on a positive high note so the whole story is good than we get something drug out for 100 issues and it should have been done at 25 or 50.
Well, you might be happy with what's going to happen then.
Okay.
So
I need MJ back. I need Peter and MJ back for freaking, since one more day.
I'm so tired of 616 Spider-Man, dude. I'm gonna shoot myself.
Well, don't do that. But I liked 8
Oh.
Ways to Die, but that's the only Spider-Man story I've really liked in a while.
yeah,
I like the Life Story. That was pretty good. That's probably the last one that I liked.
Well, so I consider that just a miniseries because it was an offshoot. But I did.
Still, though, I mean,
But it was good though. I like that story.
Yeah.
I pushed that when people come in. What's your Spider-Man story? Here.
Life Story. Yeah, I like that one.
I like that for Fantastic Four too.
yeah. You do have with the Ultimate line, you got the Incursion.
Mhm.
And the Ultimate Universe Spider-Man will be in Miles Morales' book in the 616 universe.
Good.
So I have seen some things for future. I don't know if it's permanent, but I have seen.
Is it Peter or is it Peter's son?
That I can't say.
Okay. No, it's fine. They're both wearing suits, so that's why I was asking.
Yeah, I can't.
It's Spider-Man, dude.
It's Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
I'm just gonna throw this out there too because we talk about people that I love and characters that I care about that are just weird. Can we fix Scarlet Spider too while we're at it?
Oh my god, I'm
I
so
would love
sick of that guy.
No, sorry. I just had to throw that out there too. Marvel, if you're ever listening, call me. I'll write a better Ben Riley story than anybody has in the last 10 years.
Oh, I know.
Probably last 20 years.
So no, it's all right. It's all right.
But with that, seeing it coming to a short end like that, and you got the Absolute Universe where DC is now kind of like really shaking up the world with books that I'm gonna be honest that I never would have thought I saw coming from DC.
I agree.
I mean, Elseworld story, yes, little short mini series, but nothing that would be as long
universe.
Yeah.
Right. No. Well, that was the thing too. Is as we all know. Again, I say this. I buy every DC book every week. I have done that for far longer than I probably should have, and go back almost to 77 with most titles. I've been so used to them doing complete reboots, whether it be Crisis of Infinite Earth, 0 Hour, New 52, any of that kind of stuff, and then of course the bringing back of a lot of characters that I loved here in the last 5 or 6 years with what I thought was the correct Superman, just because I like him and John as a kid. But when they with this last Absolute Power story, which everybody has their own opinions about it, but with them shutting down all the multiverse and only having the main universe and the Absolute Universe be the two universes, I thought that was really smart because as we talk about new people coming in, somebody comes in and goes, Absolute Batman, I want to read it. I like it. What's next? Well, here's Absolute Wonder Woman. Here's Absolute Superman. Here's Absolute. I love the artwork in Absolute Martian Manhunter. But here's some books that you can look at, and you're keeping them into like 5 or 6 issues, and they feel comfortable and they can read it, and it's a universe that they understand. I'm not dropping here's 27 Batman books a month. Please read all of these so we can talk about the chronological order of these stories. Like, you don't get that. So for somebody that has been doing it forever and wants, that Bruce Wayne, that's fine. I love that Bruce Wayne. I'm really happy with the new Batman run, the way it's going. But I like how with the shortness of Absolute, or the newest, I should say the new Absolute, and there's no other universe you have to read. You can read that one and just be done. And I think it's great. Right. I think it's a smart idea.
And that makes it where it's more easy for new readers to come in. And
absolutely.
You got trades. that come out, and you're able to say, hey, they you can't get the first issue. But the next thing I was going to say is that with that Absolute Universe is where DC was like, okay, we're going to do like almost an unlimited second prints, 13th
Mm-hmm.
print, you know.
Oh yeah, I've
Um,
got I think the 9th and 10th print of Batman #1 now, just because I like the covers. But yeah, there's a ton of cover prints out there for those books.
yeah, and you're getting all this new cover art. Um, now with that though, is it is it bringing new readers in, and is it keeping new readers?
I would say from an absolute standpoint, I would say yes.
Okay.
I would, from what I've seen, as long, and that's why I like the fact that DC is doing all these bazillion reprints of all these first, second, and third issues, is because somebody may not want to spend $20 on a trade. They may want to spend $5 on an issue. They want to see if they like it first. They want to dip their toe in. They're not jumping in.
Okay.
And having these people come back and then create a pull list so we can give them their books when they come out. So they don't have to, again, everybody knows what a pull list is, but having them come in, there's a lot of people that I have, and when I say a lot, I would say maybe somewhere between 8 to 10% of our total pool that have come in and that may have started because of Absolute Batman or Absolute Wonder Woman, Superman, one of those first three pushes of a character that they liked, and they're getting just one or two of those books, and they're dipping their toes in other stuff as well. But it gives them that opportunity to like you said, have a fresh start on something, and they're not having 70 years of back history to try to keep up with.
Now, with me being part of the Transformer community and also the
Mhm.
G.I. Joe, you do have now G.I. Joe Transformers books that are coming out. A lot of 80s stuff is now getting resurgence. You got what, Silverhawks, which I love.
Mhm.
Hate the artwork for the comic, but love the characters.
Is there a
Um,
Silverhawks comic?
There's
yeah,
a Thundercats too.
Does
Thundercats has been
anybody
amazing.
care?
what's that?
I know there's a Thundercats, but does anybody care about Silverhawks?
Enough to where it got 10 issues, buddy. Let me tell you, we're selling
Really?
it. Yeah,
What?
yeah,
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
yeah.
Artwork is horrible inside
What's
of
wrong
it.
with it?
in
I
my
mean, I'm
opinion.
not gonna talk about things that I can and cannot sell at the store, but the artwork is interesting. I'll say
Who's
that.
Yeah.
okay? Let me Google this. Hold on.
I
Yeah,
mean,
go ahead and Google it.
and I mean, somebody like me who can't draw with a darn a monthly book, but
Did you
with
read Captain
that,
Planet?
oh, now
The
that
new
has
one?
been phenomenal.
It took me for a loop, considering I was not expecting it to be the way it was, but it was an interesting read for sure. I enjoyed
I
it.
was like, what? Huh? I mean, I know that some of the themes that were in the cartoon was,
Yeah,
you could, but man,
Oh, it stinks.
yeah. So
I'm so glad that you saw them shit. But yeah, no, I will say this: not everything that Dynamite puts out is a banger, but
okay,
their '80s stuff is like, I mean, even like I'm reading Blue Falcon and Dynamite.
hmm
Like that book's been great. I've enjoyed it. It's been fun. And then like Mad Cave is doing like Speed Racer and Dick Tracy. Those are Flash Gordon. Oh my god, those have been great.
nice. I have not read those yet.
Yeah, no, Matt, I will say this. I would, as independents go, and I would say percentages of books that they put out, Mad Cave has probably taken, as an independent, has probably taken more of my money because
Okay.
of Defenders of the Planet or Defenders of the World.
Defenders of the Earth.
Yeah, Well, they're changing it out to Defenders or something else because they're on another
Are they?
planet now.
Oh.
But they're that 80 issue miniseries was great. The Flash Gordon series has been good. Phantom, yeah. I mean, if you like that old cartoon, man, those books are there ready to go.
Nice. Now, with these, do they put out graphic novels?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you do have, because
We
back in
do.
the day, you only had comics, and it was very, very
Oh
far in
yeah.
between if you ever got a trade paperback, and usually the trade paperback was more the adult
Yes.
Batman stories,
Like
stuff like
Watchmen and
that.
stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I remember when uh, Dark Knight Returns #1 came out,
Yeah, I do
and
too.
it was like I remember like that was like it was thick, it was expensive for what it was at the time, and it was
Yep.
a great Batman story. And I mean, there were kids that couldn't get it because of the price point, and it was intent. It was the story that it was. And I say, the Killing Joke came out, and we got that too, and that those were some not I don't use the word adult, but they were definitely harder stories for children to read, for sure.
Right. I mean, I remember as a kid getting Batman, and you got to call in to DC Comics and put
Oh,
your vote in
Kill
for
Robin.
Batman. And I voted to keep him alive because I love Jason Todd. And
John, you and I have discussed the Robin voting like at least 6 times.
Here's the thing: is what I love is DC. I've seen the artwork. We know the artwork is out. They've even they printed it in that We
yep.
Lives.
It's so funny seeing Batman just like, everything's okay.
Hey,
That's
everything's
Yeah, I know.
funny drawing. If you actually
Yeah.
looked at it, he's
I did. I have
so
a.
happy.
Batman has to smile
I know.
when someone survives,
He's
but
so happy.
I
Would have
love
been boring if he
Well-
lived, honestly.
Well, no, but let's be honest though. Again, Jeff Jones found a way to. I mean, it wasn't just him; it was the whole Marvel or whole DC team. But brought Jason Todd back
Mhm.
in at least an explainable way, and has made this Red Hood character that's phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
And I will say this, and I know we things we don't talk about in the comic book world sometimes are politics, religion, and Todd McFarlane. But I will say this is that I understand why DC did what they did.
I was heartbroken though.
That first issue of Red Hood was so good, and I was so excited. And then now it's like I feel bad for the artist. I feel bad
Yeah.
for everybody that put their time and effort into that book, and it's just nobody's going to see the light of it anymore.
No, I mean Tony was like, "Hey, I'll let you see, but
Yeah.
it's going back because it's been canceled. You got to send everything back." And
Yeah.
I was like, but it's such good artwork.
It was, and I love the fact that he was able to sell it.
Yeah, and I was like,
So I'm glad he got. I'm looking at the artwork. I'm glad that he was able to do that because of what happened. And again, everybody has their opinions, and I'm, DC did what they did, and if anybody ever asks, they can come by the store. I'll be more than happy to tell them my opinion on anything because that's just me. But I just really that first issue was phenomenal, and I just hate that it went the way that it went.
because I was like told the kids like, "Oh my God, he's finally got his own series."
Well, the best thing
and the Huntress is going to be a part of it, but
you knew what was going to happen by issue 4 or 5 anyway.
Oh
and,
yeah,
and I was just like, finally the
Angry Jason's going to be here's some
with the one angry girl in the DC universe that even Batman is like. Batman has done nothing but just been mean to her since she came around. I mean, he took the Batgirl costume from her. He's told her she's not part of the family, and yet she still keeps coming around. But no, I was just so excited, and then that happened. But but to talk about that too, though, we had Batman with an unfinished story, and DC was just like, "We're not waiting anymore. Here's Batman #1." And
okay, that's what I want to go to.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll let you do the transition. Sorry, my bad.
No. But it brings into the whole thing about you got, and this is where I wanted to go with it too. You were coming right to. I'm sorry, but you have numbering of comic books that goes #1 to now they have Batman Detective Comics at 1,000 and Superman at 1,100 or Batman's 1,100, Superman's 1,990 something. The numbering problem comes into it, but now you have where Jim Lee and Jeff Loeb are writing Hush 2.
Mm-hmm.
How does that affect you as a store and a reader when you have a brand new number one of Batman comes out, but yet issue 163, 164 haven't come out and it's not finished.
it
And
it,
how do
it,
you
become,
tell new readers
it becomes
what
a
to do?
comical joke, to be honest with you, because I mean, we got the Batman number one. A lot of people got the blind bags. We got to read this story, and then it's like they got number one, and they go, "Wait a second, Hush hasn't finished yet. What do we have a new number one? Like, is this the main book? Is this not the main book?" And you have to go to him and be like, "Well, God bless Jim Lee and Jeff Loeb, but they're not done. But the book's not ready to be published, and they can't do this, they can't do that." So this DC just said, "You know what? Let's just jump on." So I've just been telling everybody, listen, all you need to know is that the Bat family got mad at Batman, and here's the new number one. And we'll figure out why they're all mad at him when these other issues come out. And I just have to, people, subscribers come in and go, I missed this issue. I missed this issue. And I go, no, it just hasn't been published yet. But this is a lovely Batman story. Read this until, read this until it fills it in for you.
What happens though when you have a book that is delayed? What does that do as a retailer when an artist is not meeting their deadline or a writer's not meeting their deadline for you as
honestly,
a retailer?
If you've already ordered the book and they haven't I'll use Diamond for example because they're gone now. But like back in the day, Diamond, you ordered a book and Diamond didn't let you cancel it or change or modify your numbers. You just hope that people still cared.
Okay.
Now it's a little different with the other publishers, but yeah, I mean, and I'll use Something's Killing the Children for example because they do story arcs and they do breaks, and I think that book is phenomenal. Hands down, probably one of my favorite horror books that are out right now. And you hope that they do 15 issues and take a few months break and do 15 issues and take a break. I hope that when they take a break, their next break at 45 and 46 comes out a few months later, I hope the people that have been reading that like it come back to read it again. But I think like Saga, for example, that took a 5-year break and came back. There's people that stuck around and came back to the store and went, "Oh, I remember reading this. I want to keep reading it." So I don't think it hurts as much as I think because the internet just kind of flashes it at you and says, "Oh, remember, it's coming back. It's coming back. It's just not back yet." I think that helps some of that. But I just don't think that I just don't think it's fair to the fans more than I do the retailers that are willing to put their money up for this book that, no offense to Jim, but we've all known that he's had, we had Wildcats number one, but we never had a Wildcats number two back when DC took over Wildstorm. We've had Daredevil Target from Kevin Smith that never, we had the rest of that story written by somebody else later on in Daredevil to finish that story. I just don't think it's fair to the fans and the people that they're coughing their money up. If Jim knew that he was going to be behind, don't put the story out till it's done. Like, how hard is that? Like,
that's what I was wondering too. Is like, why not do that? Because surely we should learn from Brian Hitch that if you can't do a monthly book, maybe you shouldn't be working on a monthly book.
Right.
But I think DC though has learned something because take a look at Absolute Martian Manhunter. 6 issues, take a break so the artists can catch up, and then bring it out for another 6 issues. They're going to do the same thing. Now, with that, do you have it where people just come into the store and only want to buy this artist? Or does that matter? Or
not as much as we used to. There's some subscribers, I can think of one specifically, that Daniel Warren Johnson, he's just a huge fan. Was psyched before Transformers 1 came out. He just known his art and loved it. Thought it was great. And so
that was me.
It wasn't you, but you are a fan. Yes. No. But this guy, he went through and, as soon as all the Warren Johnson covers for DCKO was shown, he decided to he just came in and went on the way we pull our subscriptions now, went on and just said he wanted every one of his covers. So there are some, I have there's a few off my hand artists and writers that we have people that are just like, if this person does something, I'm reading it. I'm right, even whether it's a trade, whether it's the issue, whatever. But it's not. It's I would say it's more characters and universes than I would say specific writers and artists. I know I'm a big Tom Taylor fan, and so I when I saw him do a bunch of DC stuff, I would get excited because he was going to do a book that I liked, but or if I saw his name on something in previews for me, but I don't know if everybody would have gone to that length to see. If you don't buy previews back then, if you didn't buy previews, you didn't know.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Back in the day, you didn't have previews that
yeah.
told you everything in print. Like Nikki, even though she's not saying anything, she has to have everything that Frank Cho does.
Well, that's because he's a great artist.
I don't know why I mean, he does a nice artwork for her, and she doesn't have to pay for it. But I had to pay an arm and a leg to get a sketch from him.
I mean, are you getting his 5 covers?
Nikki's getting all his covers, everything he's ever done. He even wrote back to her.
I get Frank Cho, I get Scotty Young, and I get Chrissy Zulu covers, all of them.
And all of them do covers for Nikki.
But well, it's because Nikki's wonderful. Let's call a spade a spade.
She's awesome. I have to say so. She'll put a pillow in my face tonight while I sleep.
No, I need you around longer.
Just when he snores.
Nikki's okay. She's all right.
She's all right.
She's okay.
But those are also 3 people that are really good people. Like we've talked about Chrissy already tonight, but like I agree. I think if you could follow somebody that's great and nice and wonderful, I think, and have a relationship with them, a friendship with them, I think that's great.
Yeah, because Frank Cho, Nikki, when we were dating, Nikki bought this book that I told her to put back. It's not going to be anything, which was called Liberty Meadows. And she's like, no, his artwork, his line work, he's going to go places. And I was like, really? And she's like, and she's been like that on everything, and she's gotten everything from him. You want to tell him the artwork he did for you that's your most prized possession?
Oh yeah, he did. I have a book that I was doing on Star Wars, and so I let creators pick whatever character they wanted to, and he did me a Ralph as Darth Vader. So it's Ralph, and it's got the bucket helmet on him, and it's really cute.
That's sweet.
What did he say?
I don't remember. Derek always remembers what the bubble says.
It says, I banged your mom. She came, and here I had him do a Miss Marvel, because Nikki loves Miss Marvel before she came, and Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers. And I got him to do her, and I paid for it, and he did a great job. And he's a great guy. If you ever get a chance to meet him, he'll talk your ear off. He's really good. And he did this Miss Marvel, and I come back to the table, and she says, "Oh, I got to see Joe, Frank." And I was like, "Who?" And she says, "Joe." I was like, "Oh yeah, I finally got the art piece he did for me." She's like, "Oh, he came by and did this for me." I was like, and hers was 2,000 times better. I was like, holy crap, because he actually took time and he did both of them, but just seeing Ralph being able to say that,
I
I was
heard
like,
he usually says no to these little artworks.
than you.
Yeah, he does say, he says no a lot.
So I just called him on a whim, and I was like, I know who he is. He's not doing nothing right now. Maybe I'll ask.
You're just very lucky, ma'am. That's what it is.
Oh, I got Scotty Young to do me a freebie too.
You know who she used to sit at the
His
table
looks
with,
awful though.
I do know who she used to sit with, and that's crazy. Because you sat with him a couple times, didn't you?
I did
a couple different shows. It was early 2000s. Early.
Yeah. And
I collected all of his Wonder Woman covers. Like Derek had been trying to. I was just, I think I was reading the Liberty Meadows, and I was reading some other books. He really wanted me to get into Wonder Woman, but I only like the covers because Adam Hughes was doing them.
Yeah.
I don't know who was reading them at the time. But I was like, Derek, I just can't get into them. But I'll buy them for the covers.
Mhm. They're pretty
Yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
they're beautiful.
beautiful.
I did the same
Um,
thing for Brian Bolin when he was doing Wonder Woman covers.
no, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. But with that and dealing with the comic books, now coming to manga, do you as a store, and I know your store, but for the audience,
Yeah. Yeah.
do you have cause like Will was bringing up, it's like you got Demon Slayer, which I love.
Hmm.
Uh, you know, thanks to Will. Will got me where I'm back into reading, Gundam and been getting these
You.
and doing the model kits because Will just I love Warhammer and Will's
Are
like,
you
hey, you
mad at
like
me,
model
John?
kits?
No,
No,
no, no.
dude,
I'm just like,
no. I love
where's my heavy arms? My endless
Oh,
waltz heavy arms. It's fine. It's okay. Keep going.
they're gonna do it. They're doing the Sandrock. They're doing. You see it? They're gonna do them. They're gonna do them. They just announced the Sandrock like a few weeks
I
ago.
know. I know.
Endless
I'm just
Waltz
messing.
one.
I'm just messing. I just love heavy arms.
but
I want the blue heavy arms too. Okay, come on.
but
Everybody
yeah,
wants the blue heavy arms.
Sorry.
I'm
Sorry.
no, no,
Can't get
no.
it.
Sorry,
Which one is
sorry.
that?
We'll be
Because
good.
I'm getting caught up because I watched Nikki and Nikki found me. Um, I know we're not supposed to do show and tell. Nikki said don't do any show and tell, but Nikki got me. Uh,
You. Yeah, I've seen that the other day. Yeah.
The remake of the Unicorn for
Uh huh.
Universe.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I love that one. And I just got finished watching the Witch Mercury. I binge watched
I
that
like
thing,
that one.
I love that
and
one.
yeah,
Out
that
of
was really good.
out of curiosity, have you ever seen the CGI live action American Gundam movie?
I would say
No, I have
no.
not. No,
I
I have
No.
not.
it
Dude,
was made for Cartoon Network.
it's
It really was.
Oh,
hideous.
It was
really?
Somebody
great.
rub my chicken?
No, no. But it was like
Okay.
it was
Dude.
think of like reboot the cartoon, like that
Okay.
kind of graphics, but then like instead of like the reboot cast walking around, it's like real people walking around. Like they tried. God bless them. They
It
tried.
looks like a PS1. You know what it looks like? It looks like one of those 90s full motion video games where there's like Tim
Oh,
Curry green screened and he's
Yeah.
like, I'm piloting
okay.
a Gundam.
But,
He's like
but it's on YouTube, or at least
Okay.
parts of it are on YouTube. So I just say just to make your soul complete, take 5 minutes and watch one 5 minute block of it,
dude, it's
and
so
it is
Okay.
funny.
great.
I would definitely be doing that then.
Watching one of the guys try to like get into the pilot of the machine is great. It's wonderful.
There's also a 90s full motion video Gundam game, and it has like live action Char Aznavour, and he's got this massive helmet. It looks so funny. He looks like a kid in a costume of Char Aznavour, and he's like, "I'll get you, Amuro." Like he's just so funny.
Amaro!
Amuro!
We're watching all the new ones, and I was like, I think his name is Amaro, Derek. Or not the new ones, but all the old ones. I was like, his name's Amaro.
They
And I was
have.
in the
I love
kitchen, and I was like,
Char and Amuro are one of the greatest anime like duos ever. They're just so funny. There's like you could tell Char is at least a little bit gay for Amuro. And it's always funny. He's like because it's
Uh,
like Char, you bastard, you've done it again. And he's like, oh no, Amuro's here. Oh no.
we, we
oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
can't have the light. It will hurt my eyes if I go out in the UV. Um, yeah. Oh, don't let me get a tan. I'll blister. But I've been enjoying that, and that's what I want to bring up is the fact that with manga, do you see that in the store?
Um,
Because back in the day, you could only get it like at what Books a Million or Barnes and Noble.
Noble, yeah.
You know,
Um, it's available. Usually, at least some of the volumes are available for us to get. We do carry a few hero, like My Hero. There's a few One Pieces floating around. Um, Demon Slayer for sure. I'm like going down the shelf as I'm thinking. We
The
did
big one.
do. That would be more of a Rosh question, just because he knows them all by heart because he reads all of them.
God,
But,
Rosh is a nerd.
yeah, right.
I love Rosh.
But you love him.
I do love
it's like-
Rosh.
But we do
it's
carry.
Dragon Ball.
We have a huge. We have 2 bookcases full, and then we also keep the collections. So like like when they did was like the first 12 or 15 issues of My Hero in a box set.
Yep, in a box set.
Or oh god,
Because I got
Fairy
that from your
Tail.
store.
Yeah, like I like Fairy Tail, so like there's been a box set of Fairy Tail too pop through there.
Okay. Because I ruined Nikki because I like Dragon Ball and I like Dragon Ball Z, and Nikki was like, if they power up for another 30 minutes without fighting, I can't do
You're
it.
alone on this, Nikki. I like Dragon Ball too. Come
Okay,
on.
so Nikki, for you, it's on Hulu. There's a condensed version of Dragon Ball Z.
Really?
I forgot what it's called. It's Dragon Ball something, but it's like they take all the excess, like the 4 episodes of Goku just sitting there, like
Z
trying to like Super Saiyan like 27 or blue hair God or whatever, and he's just sitting there just getting all angry. It takes all of that out, and it's only all the filler is out. It's just the episodes.
That's Dragon Ball Z Kai. That's
There you
the
go.
best way to watch Dragon
Yeah.
Ball.
Well, Nikki
Now, I'll
told me.
tell you that we watched it. This was when we were dating. I watched all of it. But when he started to bring up he was going to do Naruto, and I was like, please don't tell me there's going to be episodes in there where he's like powering up his fist for 4 episodes and we don't do nothing. Because if it is, I'm out. I'm out. And
That's
so
a One
I
Piece.
was like,
So
no.
what are your thoughts on One Piece? No, I'm just kidding.
Can I share what you
We
used to call Dragon
I
Ball?
haven't watched One Piece.
One Piece is literally
What are
my
you gonna say?
favorite one.
Can
He
I
started
did
me on the episode. I have an
I did
episode
start,
in.
she did before I
That's
had the
all I
surgery.
got.
I found it. Can I share? Is it alright if I share what you used to call Dragon Ball?
I don't care. You can share whatever you want to share.
Nikki used to say after we got married, she's like, when you get married and then they come out and then tell you what they don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Nikki came out and she's like, look, I love comics. I love artwork. I've got friends that's in it. I get it. But if you make me watch one more damn piece of dragging my ball sack, I cannot deal with it any longer. And I was like, and you gotta understand, Nikki doesn't say bad words.
Oh, I
That's
know.
how
You're
bad.
wrong for
I
that,
mean, with
Nikki.
that's how bad it was. It was like, no.
No, it's okay.
Dragon.
You know how people have those little mini Jesuses that they put in their cars now to drive
Like
around?
the little rubber ones, like
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I do have one for each of my cars, but today
Okay.
I actually got a there's a little bald Krillin that's sitting next to Jesus. So as I drive him,
Krillin.
because I love Krillin. He's my favorite character out
He's
of all
just
of
like
it.
you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I can
You
also
gotta
come
put
in.
little dots on your head.
I did
But,
tell Derek that I was ready to rewatch Dragon Ball Z.
I'm proud of you.
Watch
I was
Kai.
like,
Taking
Watch
me-
Dragon Ball
That
Kai.
was, do you know that's been 25 years ago? And only now I'm like, I think I'll try it again.
it's okay.
We'll try
I
to watch
say the
it.
same. I'm saying the same thing about Grey's Anatomy. You're fine.
Oh, I love Grey's Anatomy.
Oh God.
So
I watched the first 9 season almost like, and then they took away my internet capability, my Netflix availability at school, and so
yeah.
because like I was watching it while I was doing my work, and then all of a sudden they're like, "No, we can't do that anymore." I was like, "What do you mean? I got no Netflix at school? What?"
And she didn't tell me this, but VHSs when it came to anime was not cheap.
No, it was
Because you had to buy. It was like 2 episodes per tape, and
Well,
it was
I
like,
remember. So there's the company called Georgia Music, and I don't know if they're still around anymore. Because
no, absolutely not. No, they're not.
they're not. That's how I got my anime, because they would drive a truck to New Dimensions, and the guy would open the back of the truck, and Harry, who was the card guy, the toy guy, would go back there and pick a few different, because back then that's one of the ways we got Pokemon, and we get like different card sets out of there and some stuff. And he was like, well, we carry anime. And I'm like, really? And so I started grabbing that's how I grabbed my Dragon Ball Z tapes and the old Dragon Ball tapes and Vampire Hunter D. And
Yes.
I like Vampire Hunter D.
I do too. Yeah. And I
I like
remember
that one.
I remember because I was watching Akira on Cartoon Network. And then I got the Akira VHS tape and watched it and realized that they didn't show all of the movie.
No, they did not.
They did not. And that's when I was like, maybe I don't know if I should be watching all this. But that was how I got mine. Was I would just go to the back of the truck and go, that looks interesting. That looks interesting. And you're talking $20, $30, sometimes $40 for one VHS tape when they were, $10, $15, $20 other places.
Yeah.
But I wanted it dubbed. I didn't want it, or I'm sorry, I wanted it subtitled. I didn't want it dubbed. And
okay.
and I wanted the actual footage. I didn't want some watered down thing that somebody else was going to put on for cheap American movies. I wanted the real stuff.
Exactly. And she didn't tell me this, and I spent a fortune on buying these VHSs for us to
It's
sit.
not like I made them throw them away. I just didn't want to watch it anymore.
She was like, but she didn't tell me during the time we were dating that
Yeah.
was like, but
You got halfway
Pretty
through the
long, though.
Majin Buu saga when you found out.
Well, that wasn't very long. We only dated 3 months. I asked him to marry me. We were married in 6 months, so it's not like that was a long period of time.
but and it wasn't immediately after we were married. It wasn't immediately. It was when we got married. She didn't come out and stay at that time. It was like
On the honeymoon, she was like, by the way, Dragon Ball sucks.
yeah, but it was
On
like
honeymoon, I took him to Heroes Con. I cut our honeymoon short, and we went to Heroes Con.
You went to Heroes Con and you said it in the middle of the convention, and all the nerds gathered around and beat you up.
They all cried. They one tear came down
Would that be a
everybody's face.
story?
everybody
That's a
their soul.
story.
It was
No,
like
I
the
whispered
never-ending
it to him. I
story.
was like,
Dragon Ball sucks.
it's awful.
It's awful. And no, and what she really did, she picked
Everybody's
up
either bald or they have too much hair. Disgusting show.
who remembers the VHS the ones that you should not buy,
Uh-huh.
and it was essentially the hentai. Anybody,
Uh-huh.
and she picked up that, and she says, "I bet this one here is better than what you made me watch."
Oh yeah, it is.
Was it though? Is the question. Oh, was it the one?
No.
Oh, no.
Was it a special one? Well, see, that was the thing. Was like I didn't know what that stuff was because I was
Right.
because I grew up in a
I actually did know what that stuff was.
I grew up in a very sheltered environment, and
I did too, but then I went to college.
yeah, oh yeah, let me tell you, I'm so glad I can barely remember my senior year. When Georgia Music opened that and I was buying stuff, one day he goes, here's a couple of free watch, basically it was like the trailers of a bunch of stuff.
Right.
And he goes, how old are you again? And I'm like, I'm 20. And he goes, here, try this one. And I went home and I plugged that in and I went,
oh no.
You can't get two tentacles there. Like, I don't know what
Yes, you can.
And then I was like, wait a second. And there was this whole opening, and I was like, yeah, no, I can't.
I was like, no.
No. And see, people don't realize that it was such a niche that you would be able to get stuff that way, because everything now you got Crunchyroll,
Yeah.
and we get to see any anime we want to, and get to know people that's worked on stuff that I love, which is Kaiju 8. And
That's me.
yep, and Nikki, I was like, and that's when I geeked out over Will. I was like, oh my God, really? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, cause that still resonates. With comic books and the future. Now as we're winding down with the show, coming down, where do you see the future of comics?
Honestly, I see the floppies being around for a while, because anybody that reads old books, whether it's just a standard novel or it's a comic book or whatever, there's that texture, that feel, that smell, that all of that you get. And I say this a lot, coming from a video game world as well. when you download a game and play it, especially now with like the PS5 and some of these other systems, you're basically paying for the right to play the game.
Right.
And when they decide to stop that game or take that game away, if you
Definitely.
have a physical copy, you can still play the game. And I would hate for people to spend all this money on digital, and then one day DC just goes, you know what? We just don't want these books anymore out there. It's just costing too much money. And that could be your favorite book, and then you just never get to read it again
It's gone.
because it's
Like
gone.
what Dark Horse said.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so, you know, I don't like talking tragedy about anything, but you know, like when DC just reprinted with Marvel, just reprinted all those amalgam issues and the DC versus Marvel stuff, there were certain amalgam issues that didn't get reprinted for obvious reasons. And we're not going to talk about that. But if you want to know, go look it up. It's a horrible story. I just don't recommend anybody reading it. But anyway, but those issues weren't there. So there's going to be some gaps for some things for people.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like, and that's a bad case, and I probably should do something different. But like, there's other books out there where you go want to read a story, and this issue is not published, or this issue isn't published, and it's hard to tell the story. It may take you forever to find that issue to fill that gap. So I just think having physical copies is going to be. I just don't see it going away anytime soon. I think digital is great for newcomers because it's an easier way to mass market your stuff so everybody can see it. But I think there should be pride taken in it and published at some point because you've taken the time and the hard work to do the job. I think it should be published so you can have a nice copy on the shelf of something that you did and that people can admire and have it for years to come.
And the other thing is coming to that. What do you think, if you haven't already heard, about Warner Brothers being sold?
My thought process is I would love for DC to be by themselves. I would love it in a heartbeat because I feel like there's watching Marvel be by themselves before Disney bought them.
Mm-hmm.
And you can kind of tell where Disney goes, oh, we're not going to worry about that. Oh, no, we got to do it this way with this, and this, and this. I am hopeful that whoever buys it takes the time to pride not just the comic books, but like Looney Tunes and all that, their whole catalog of things, and takes the pride that and the initiative to do it correctly. I hope that my books keep getting published. I'm sure they will. I mean, we've seen the numbers. We know how they feel about comic book movies and comic books as a whole from a Warner Brothers standpoint. But I just really feel that I just hope that the next person, if I had $20 billion, it would be John's company right now. I can tell you that in a heartbeat.
Exactly. I would definitely be buying DC. I love the characters. My only fear is knowing who's going to play, and I'll go ahead and release this. It looks as if it will be Netflix that will be the new owner of Warner Brothers.
It's so over. It's
So that I worked on Netflix movies. Okay. You can go to IMDb page and look me up, and you'll see the ones I worked on. That worries me as a fan and a collector because I know how I work for the company. I know how cheap they are and what corners they'll cut. And that's why I wanted to ask, seeing that it's now after AOL bought it, and AOL's like, it's not made what we wanted it to make. And I think that's because there's not been that creative backing, like you said. Marvel before Disney is the reason why Marvel and the cinematic universe became a thing in the first place.
Well,
After a corporation gets hold of it, it does kind of.
Well, look at Batman and Robin for an example. Yeah. They literally walked into a room and said, "There's a bunch of toys. Write a movie that makes these toys sell."
Yes.
And I see both sides of the coin. Like I love Young Justice; it's one of my favorite cartoons. and knowing that we did get seasons for so long was because in the Green Lantern cartoon that came out at the same time, and watching it die, both of those die because the toys didn't sell because, well, the toys were horrible, but and then they were just like, oh, well, we're not making any money off this stuff, so obviously nobody watches it. And they found out later that was a lie. I think you just need to as these companies come in, I don't see Netflix messing so much with the action figures because I think that's going to be Mattel's big boy, and I don't think Netflix is going to have as much hands in the game as which ones get made unless it's a TV show or movie that they're doing.
Well, you got Mattel and Todd will still be making the toys.
Sorry.
I know.
I have my own
I
issues
know.
with him. I have my own personal issues with him. I don't want to buy a Clayface 17 times because the leg keeps falling off. I just don't. Anyway, that's a
I agree. I agree. I don't buy. Yeah.
But I mean, he did make a Red Lantern, Guy Gardner, so I can't argue.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
No, but I just think
you
if I think if Netflix, or at least if Netflix is the buyer, if they are smart and they watched like Amazon with Invincible or watch the Marvel with some of their stuff. I mean, and again, you can see the ebbs and flows of the Marvel stuff as well, and everybody has their opinions on that. But if I don't have a problem with having Gunn's universe and Snyder's universe, and as long as the movies are good, I don't care.
Right.
Like having
Exactly.
the multiverse, I'm fine with that. But I hope and pray that whoever does finally sit in that big chair and says this is what we're doing. I just hope they don't take away the things that I've loved for so long. That's really my biggest concern. And if they don't take them away, then I'm really okay.
I hope they don't screw up the new movies that Gunn's doing. I liked that Superman movie. I loved the Suicide Squad movie.
I will
Well,
say
Gunn-
this: that
think
Superman
they've
movie
got-
made me happy. So
I know James Gunn's contract. I've already privy to see parts of it.
Yeah.
And his contract is that he already knew that this was coming down the pike. A lot of people knew this was coming down the pike. His contract was slated that he would be allowed to still keep his universe going as long as it made money.
Yep.
That's why you're seeing everything still being greenlit. But on the flip side, the reason why Scott Snyder is now putting everything out there and all the stuff is because his stuff will also be greenlit because of his connections with Netflix. So and DC can pull that off because of all the Elseworlds, multiverse, the whole thing. That's their whole
Well,
thing with
that's
DC.
and that's the thing about the books too, like you're talking about, is that like if you want a darker, grittier, angry Superman, you've got that in Snyder by far. And there's some things that he has put out there that I would like to see come to fruition. But I got to be honest, Gunn knocks Superman out of the park for me. So I just I'm ready for his Lanterns TV show this coming summer, and I can't wait to see Supergirl. And I remember sitting in the theater and people going, "Why is she that way?" And I go, "There's this great story. It's probably the only Tom King story that I like." And go, "Here, read this."
Yep.
And it'll make everything understand by it. And that's the other part I like is he's making movies that you don't even have to read anything, but if you like a character, there's 1 or 2 volumes of something you can hand somebody and say, read this, and this covers everything. And you now have somebody willing to be a comic collector to continue with those characters they like.
And that's what you want.
Yeah.
With that, one other thing, bringing back to comic books, Hasbro was completely done making movies after they considered Rise of the Beast as a flop, and they considered Transformers 1 as a flop. They were done. Michael Bay is now going to come back, and he's going to start bring back the universe because he's putting the money there. But if it wasn't for comic books and comic book shops having it, we would not be getting a G.I. Joe, Transformers, Void Rivals universe coming as a adult cartoon. It's supposed to be for ages 16 or older for this stuff because of the and that is because comic shops took a shot and said, yeah, you know what? IDW really killed us with the stories that they were doing with G.I. Joe, and it became stagnant, and
Mm-hmm.
Transformers had become stagnant, but it was, other things that was keeping them alive because of the toys. But because of what, Kurtman did, um, we're now going to get that. And I think that that's like people like you that would see the stuff and say, hey,
Mm-hmm.
I know you're a Transformer fan. You might want to pick this up. It's a lot better, because I wasn't going to pick it up and you recommended it.
Yeah. Well, I remember that first issue of Transformers and Starscream crushing
Squishing the guy.
Duke's.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going, oh my god, like this is amazing, and the
Everything
fact
I've
there's
ever wanted.
I know, like it's perfect, and then having that 1 in 100 cover that they just dropped for a new issue of Transformers. I mean, not the Transformers. I'm sorry, GI Joe. That we have Matt Tracker in his car.
In his car.
I'm like, well, I mean, if you looked at this past fall or past summer's Free Comic Book Day Energon Universe,
saw him.
It was the Matt Tracker and Hound story.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
now, currently, in the right now, Miles Mayhem showed up, and
yep,
Yeah,
they're
sure did.
doing the Transformers 25. Yeah,
all in on this Transformers Mask GI Joe. I would not be surprised if they're just going to do a Mask series soon. They have to.
I would.
Right?
What I was told, which may be wrong, was originally Void Rivals was supposed to end sooner than later,
It was
and Mask was
25.
Mask was
yeah.
and then they decided to do whatever the war is, and
Quit his
then
Sun War.
and then once that, and if I'm right, when that gets over, we get the big bad boy. And
Well, I can share something,
yeah,
because I do know something on that end.
yeah,
Hasbro only agreed to allow them to publish 3 different books other than what was G.I. Joe Real American Hero.
okay.
Because they've been doing so well, Hasbro has just opened everything up. So we may even get Rome the Space Knight.
Ooh, well,
right.
I thought Ron was still Marvel. Is he back?
No, he's not. No, he's Hasbro. He's actually been
He's
in.
Hasbro.
Oh,
He's actually he had a bit of a stint in the IDW
he
Transformers
did.
comics. He
He
did.
did.
He did. Yeah,
It's
because
a
I remember
Hasbro property.
because when they published him
He's
in they
completely
published
Hasbro. He can do
the
anything.
compendium or the omnibus for Marvel, and then they made the Marvel Legends figure. I thought he was back over there for sure.
Nope. He is.
No, he's not.
He was.
They
He was.
can use him, but they'd have to collaborate on it. But
Yeah.
Hasbro can still do whatever they want with him.
Okay,
he's
good. Well, no,
Hasbro's character.
I just remember having that Matt Tracker GI Joe figure from back in the day with the the skis that turned into a helicopter, and I just like having him officially as a GI Joe member just makes me happy, and
Me
having
too.
that and seeing that and knowing that universe is coming just makes me super excited.
I'm so happy to see. I'm on the opposite. I like Miles Mayhem because I had there's this store in Pickens, and I remember when I was a kid, I got his plane that turned into a helicopter,
Yep.
and it still had
cool.
him in it. So I was like, yes. So I was really happy that he was in there.
So I'm very excited, because the thing is that Hasbro was very hesitant, gun shy on doing anything, but because of this, there are works for a toy line,
Mm-hmm.
and there is Rome the Space Knight, which I grew up and loved. For a lot of people who don't know, my very first character I ever created was named Rome, but I did it after Rome, and it was me, my character, dealing when I had cancer, and that's how I created that character.
Oh
And that
wow.
name also went into why, if you ever see my gamer tag, is Rome Laka, because that was his whole name. And then I got to have my artwork in a George Lucas comic book, which was Knights of the Old Republic, which I designed a Wookiee that was the only published artist that wasn't under George Lucas at the time. That's in. So seeing that as a fan of comics and being that little nerd, to see that and us all geeking out over this, that's why I think the comic books aren't done. I
We're
think
back, baby.
yeah. Where if you had asked this me um, about 10 years back, I would have said, "Oh, I don't think so. I think that yeah, Marvel's got things going, but DC is struggling,
Yeah.
and nothing independent. And Hasbro has the Bayverse, yes, but that's only making money overseas. And that's how it's, and
Yeah.
I was there was not a lot of cool stuff, but now you got
It's
creator on projects, you
mhm.
got the 80s are back. And I mean, we got a He-Man movie coming out, which I've already got to see some of the pictures from that and what
Looks good.
Skeletor's going to look like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Um,
that Snake Mountain picture. It looks crazy, dude.
well, I got in trouble. I guess I could share. I got kind of in trouble because I got hold of backstage pictures for when they were out running. It was supposed to be a closed set, and I didn't know what I was supposed to share. And I was sharing these pictures, and yeah, and it was like those were not supposed to be seen. And it's like, oh, okay. I was geeking out as a nerd.
I'm
Um,
sorry.
yeah, but we got a lot of stuff that's coming, and Hasbro is not going to give this because Kurtman's Invincible is the reason why the cartoon is going to work
Mhm.
for them, and I'm excited. So, what do
I
you have
really
that's
hope that
coming?
cartoon
Oh, go
doesn't.
ahead, Will.
I really hope that cartoon doesn't stink, man.
I don't think it can. I think that
It
if it
could.
takes,
I think well the problem is if they follow like with Invincible, they obviously they made some changes here and there in the book, but if there's a script, like that's where sometimes I feel Marvel and DC fails is there's trade paperbacks, there's hardcovers, there's proof that these particular stories are successful. Now just put it on the screen.
Yeah.
yeah,
And I think if they can do that, it'll be fine. It'll make me happy. And
and
there's even that Transformer, that Optimus coming out with the Megatron arm.
Yeah.
yep,
So I
yeah.
don't know if I want to pay $90 for that, but that still looks
No,
pretty.
you should just get the Studio
You
Series
get the
one and then get the DNA kit that just comes with the
Just
arm.
the arm and pop it off.
You
Yeah,
arm and
could do
part,
that, yeah. There's a kit for it. And it
or
comes with
this
the
third,
trailer.
or you can get a third party figure that will have the whole thing together.
that's true too. But you know what? It's not Gen 2, so I'm not collecting right now, right? I'm just kidding.
You only collect G2?
Yeah.
You missed at the very
You
beginning.
missed,
Yeah,
you missed that was the beginning of the conversation. Sorry.
Oh,
yeah, he's all into the G2.
I'm all.
what's
Give me
wrong
some
with
crazy,
you, you freak?
give me crazy colors, bud. I'm excited.
Did you see that? Did you see that insane figure for what's it called? The new thing. What is it? Derek, you probably know the new one. That's cyber world, right? No, not cyber.
Oh yeah, Cyberworld.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
it's like Age of Extinction Hound. So like the really fat one from the fourth movie, but he's got Megatron's head and he's painted
Yep.
up like G2 Megatron.
G2 Megatron.
It's the most
Yep.
fascinating toy ever. I bought one.
Did you? I hadn't seen it yet because if I did, I was going to get it because I got
It's
the
fascinating.
bull.
I have one.
I got the bull Megatron. I
there
think
is
it's
a
bull Megatron.
it's either Entertainment Earth or Big Bad Toys was showing some random purple and blue Rodimus from Japan. It was like $200, and I'm sitting there going, I cannot afford you today.
Oh,
I got
the Adamus Machinus?
Yeah.
Rodimus? Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, if I see this in person, I will probably end up buying this. So no one, please show me.
Have you ever seen the Missing Link crap?
Uh-huh.
These? You ever
Mhm.
seen those? I love these. These are awesome.
Yeah, I haven't been. I have not gone down that rabbit hole because I've been worried about the cost because I'm now buying everything from Warhammer to GI Joe to Bobby's
Gundam.
stuff, and now Gundam and Revan. I know you won't be on my lap, man. He is like, hey,
I
I love this thing. Wow.
I have dropped to 6. Well, every time a toy line ends, I will pick up a new toy line, but I've limited myself to 5 toy lines.
What am I limited to right now? Transformers, but I'm running out of stuff to buy. Let's see. I'm doing Warhammer, Gundam, Godzilla, and now I'm doing Kamen Rider. So now I'm doing 5. Okay, so I'm gonna limit myself to 5 too. I think.
Okay. Yeah. No. I will say this. I'm a big fan of Jada right now.
Oh, Jada. Okay, 6. Okay.
Yeah, they got some. Jada's got some good stuff. Yeah,
So,
Uh-huh.
but as we're coming to the end, is there any future things that you would like to share or you can share?
um, I will say for me, for anybody that's out there, that is close enough to come by the store and come talk to me. I would much rather put something in your hand and let you look at it and figure it out. But I'm really looking forward to see whatever happens after this DCKO. I can't wait to see what happens after the um, Ultimate Universe ends, and anything that Tinian is doing, I will pick up tomorrow without thinking twice about it. That's how I feel. So if anybody wants to come talk to me about it, I'll be at the store.
Pretty cool. Well, guys, that's the end of this show. I'm gonna let Nikki take us out.
Well, thanks, guys. I had fun.
I did too. I appreciate it. Go ahead, baby girl. Take us
All
out.
right, so you can see our stuff at bitterseedmedia.com. I put up new comic strips every Wednesday. There's one coming up this Wednesday. Um, we are planning to have some other guests come soon. Um, one of them is somebody that Derek's talking to. Let me find his name because I kept it up here just in case. And it's probably going to be December. His name's James Tyenum. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but he's worked on Batman and Batman, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Justice League. So we're supposed to have him sometime. It may be Tuesday, it may not be Tuesday. We're probably going to take off next week, maybe it depends. Otherwise, we'll still be here at Tuesday at 8:30. And we got some other people that's kind of in the talking stages that we're talking to for guests. So be be here, be square.
And before we go, anything you can share you're doing, Will?
No.
All right, then we will. Well,
Oh
as soon as
well.
he can,
Oh
we
well.
will definitely because I'm gonna be bending his ear
Blasting
on
it
that.
out.
All right. Well, we will see y'all later. Thank you so much, and
Thanks,
thank you,
guys. Y'all
John,
take
for
care.
being here. You too.
Thanks, John.
Thanks.
And we'll give it a second.